Blunt Talk with LT episode 55. This episode is brought to you by Gwop.com. Gwop.com/podcast. Download every episode of Blunt Talk with LT. Make sure y'all subscribe on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you download podcasts. And make sure you subscribe to the Gwop and Blunt Talk with LT YouTube channel. Because we trying to grow out this bitch, you know what I mean? Trying to change lives out here on this YouTube shit. Okay. So first thing we getting into. I had some shit that I wanted to report, but I made sure that I had some double sources before I reported it. Someone else picked it up, dropped the story first, but we're not here to be first. We're here to be correct and, give our opinions on correct facts. So, pretty much, wow, fail. Pretty much, I was doing some research, and I've seen some shit pop up on my timeline, and I seen that Karl Malone had impregnated a 12-year-old when he was 20, ended up having a child with a 13-year-old because she gave birth when she was 13. That child ended up being a professional football player named Demetrius Bell, and he's now retired, I believe so. But yeah, so he's been getting some backlash recently. Someone that hasn't ever really been a media-friendly person, not known to have the nicest personality to the media and people that bug him for no reason. But you can't blame motherfuckers because you never know how these stories are being spun at the end of the day. So, that he probably just was mad at a couple of... Who knows how he was with the media? I'm not even going to hold that against him, but this story that's been coming out is actually accurate because that is his child, and there's DNA supporting it. So, well, allegedly, I don't want to, throw all these things. This has been double sourced, but at the end of the day, you got to be safe when it comes to throwing allegations on people. So, I'm gonna put allegedly on that one. That's pretty gross. I hope that he was not privy to the information and went through with it. He probably wasn't. It was probably one of those things where he's out, he's drunk. He's probably... I can't even speak on it. I don't know how they met. I can't, kind of just come up with something because it's really just conjecture at that point. There's no solid evidence of how the hell they met and had their situation. But, the child is there nonetheless. I didn't get the story. No one really has the story on how they met or whatever. So I just feel like that is... disturbing news. If you're a Karl Malone fan, you don't want to hear that shit. Seems like I'm breaking a lot of bad news when it comes to these NBA players and shit, but that's not my aim to do. I'm just reporting the news and what the fuck happens. It's not like when LeBron dropped his school. Obviously I covered that shit. I covered the positives too, but a lot of the shit that comes up on the internet or otherwise is just negative, or people that send me scoops and shit to put on the pod. Shit is just, a lot of the shit's negative, but even from the shit that's been put out from like Mandy from the Whoreible Decisions podcast, like the whole Kevin Durant shit, because she never said Kevin Durant's name. Not once did she say Kevin Durant's name. She said a bunch of things that would kind of imply that it was Kevin Durant, and then Andrew Schultz and these guys and the Flagrant 2 podcast keep kind of mentioning and reiterating that it was Kevin Durant. So they keep bringing it up and they keep putting it on Kevin Durant that he's been pegged in the ass from Mandy from Whoreible Decisions. So that's for me. I made a video months ago, almost a year ago now, talking about this and saying that some of the shit sounds like it's just salacious shit to say on a podcast to drive more viewers. And when you don't put out anybody's name, you're not actually saying stuff, so you're not really making those allegations. You're leaving it open to interpretation. So I felt like some of it was cap. She responded on Twitter, Mandy. We had a little back and forth briefly, but never got to the bottom of it. At the end of the day, I'm not in the bedroom with them. I'm not here to defend what another man does in the room with a woman because I ain't there. What the fuck am I supposed to know? I don't really care like that. But I just feel like if you're not going to say names and you're going to put it out there and people are going to keep insinuating and doing stuff, I feel like that's wrong. I feel like you should just either out the person or keep it in the closet. Pause. Nothing's really, you know what I mean. But I don't know. That's just for my taste personally. I feel like you shouldn't really. I don't know. I'm not the type to support the whole, telling what the fuck you do in the bedroom. Like, no, it's none of my business. It's none of the public's business. But if people use that as clout points and come up, that's when it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of whack. Because at the end of the day, if some broke ass nigga, fucked you, and then, you know what I mean, come up off of you, that's kind of trash. You'll feel whack. Be like, this whack ass niggas on Love and Hip Hop or something off of my name or some bullshit like that. Like, people don't like that shit. That shit's tacky. I don't know how the fuck I ended up on that off a Karl Malone story, but it's more of just the negative shit that you hear, the negative reports more proliferating more than the positivity when it comes to these NBA hidden stories. There's some YouTube conspiracies going on about LeBron, but I'm not going to even bring that bullshit to the fucking forefront. It has nothing to do with like cheating or women or anything like that, but it's there's some PED conspiracy bullshit. But I'm like, that's what happens when you're at that age performing at that level. Like, people get busted in the NBA. Like, you get caught. You get called out, you get caught, you get suspended. Niggas has been suspended earlier this season. They tried to appeal it like DeAndre Ayton. Didn't happen. 20 games. You're serving the whole 20 because the NBA don't play with that shit. So when people think that LeBron will be, doing some shit like that, it's like, come on, this is LeBron James. He spends $1 million a year on his fucking body. What do you think that goes to? That goes to nutrition, proper treatment. It goes to cryo. It goes to recovery. It goes to all sorts of shit. So it's like, don't be mad at the nigga because he's fucking 78 years old and still the best player in the NBA. It's like, Kawhi's what, 28, 29? This nigga young as hell still, and he's doing load management and shit. It's like hobbling every day, limping every game and shit. It's like niggas' body's built down. LeBron built his body year after year after year. You see the progression. So when people try to put that on him because it's some sort of jealousy thing or fans hating or people reading into things or people being too much of conspiracy theorists, that's when it's like, you gotta chill on that shit. Sometimes people just do shit for the quick YouTube views or the quick buzz, the quick clout, but you gotta be thorough with your reporting. If you want to, have an opinion on something, have an opinion piece. Nothing wrong with that. I have opinions on a bunch of shit that I have minimal to little knowledge or info about, but you know what I mean? You have a platform, you use it the way you want to use it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go stamping things and saying this is fact and this is this way because I don't know. It's just an opinion. And that's the way opinion pieces should be presented. As an opinion. You put out the facts that you got. You put out the facts, that you think that help you form that opinion. And you say this is your opinion. And if it's not an actual fact that makes it that stamp, then it's just your opinion and your perspective. But moving on. Do we have a GOAT list this episode? The greatest. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm always hesitant on these fucking GOAT lists because I'm like, don't want to stamp somebody and then have to see them in the fucking GOAT list video section of people that I stamped the GOAT. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of negativity to report generally. So let's get with the positivity on the reporting. GOAT list. The greatest knockout puncher of all time. My GOAT lists aren't the most generic linear GOAT list. Sometimes it's a niche within a specificity of, it's not just the greatest boxer of all time, it's greatest knockout boxer of all time, because I already have Floyd Mayweather as the greatest boxer of all time. The greatest knockout boxer of all time, the nigga that has the most fucking, iron or whatever the fuck he has in his fist that just put niggas to sleep. The person with the most one punch Saitama power is clearly Deontay Wilder. Like, yeah, there was the greats of like Mike Tyson, the great heavyweight boxers all around, like the Muhammad Ali's. But when we talk about one-hit knockout power, we have a man that's 42-0-1, which really should be 43-0 because he beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was on the canvas for more than 10 seconds. The count was more than 10 seconds. The referee counted slow. There's indisputable evidence of that, so he should be 43-0. It shouldn't be 43-0-1. That shouldn't have been a draw. That should have been a KO. Nonetheless, the only person that lasted with Deontay Wilder and made it to a decision other than Tyson Fury, ended up getting knocked out in the fucking rematch. So Deontay Wilder is on another level when it comes to knocking motherfuckers out. He lost every round purposely in that Ortiz rematch. He didn't give a shit. He was just trying to set up. He was just breaking them down, trying to set up, looking for that opening, because all he needed was that one punch. Hit him with that one punch, he walked the fuck away. He's like, yeah, nighty-night, nigga. Shit done. Finished. He knew he had that because he has that confidence in that one hit knockout power. And at the end of the day, that's why he's the greatest knockout boxer of all time. I would love to see, him fight a UFC fighter, like in the UFC, and see that all around, like him versus like Francis Ngannou or some shit like that. Like, I don't know, that shit will be wild, because really and truly, I'm not looking forward to the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fight compared to like a Deontay Wilder and Ruiz, or a Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Any fight that for me, I need Deontay Wilder fighting all them niggas. Like, I don't care about those niggas fighting each other. I don't care to see Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua. I don't care to see that. All right, we getting off sports real quick. We're gonna end up back at sports when I do my top 5 list of top 5. What's my list again? Fuck it. We'll get back to it later. So J Boog, member of B2K, along with Raz B, are pissed off at Lil Fizz, and they're putting all the blame on Lil Fizz for being kicked off of the Millennium Tour because Omarion said fuck them niggas and went with Bow Wow, Soulja Boy, and whoever else was on that poster. Pretty Ricky, who else? A bunch of niggas. So they went on their tour. I reported this in the last episode. They're pissed off at Fizz, and they're not pissed off at April. They're not pissed off at Omarion. They're just pissed off at Fizz. And can you blame them for being pissed off at Fizz, though? Because Fizz no one's on the side. I don't want to be repeating myself 24/7 when it comes to his snake actions, when it comes to Omarion and shit, and them looking at it more like, okay, the girl's gonna do whatever she can spitefully, so it's up to your mans then to like hold you down and not do any snake shit like that. But he really cropped himself and the rest of B2K out of the bag because he wanted to, be with April in that love and hip hop relationship. So at the end of the day, they have a right to be mad at him, but they got to be able to exist without Omarion if they want a real career. Because at the end of the day, if you're as an artist, when I look at a lot of artists that are in groups and I see the codependence with certain artists on the leader or, the cash cow, it's like at some point as an entertainer, you got to get your shit together and be able to entertain independently. Because if you're not working a job with a consistent paycheck that's, hitting you with that direct deposit every 2 weeks or something, you got to be on your shit as an entertainer. So it's like every day, every hour, whatever, every month, whatever cycle of time that you go through when you're, picking up your shit and creating shit and momentum, you got to be on your shit. You can't be dependent and be like, oh, this nigga doesn't want to bring us on tour. We can't make no money. Well, you still have 3 other group members. You guys have no hits between y'all. No one has any solo success. You guys didn't have anything without O when O decided to go solo. At some point, you got to put that on yourself and be like, you guys are grown adults. You guys are your own entity. You guys should be able to make some sort of money on the tour. There was that Marcus Houston tour, that Immature tour. What was it? Immature, I think it was called. I think Ray J was part of. Like, they could have hopped on that somehow. Been some backup singers for that. I'm pretty sure they were doing some shit like that. But at the end of the day, they have a right to be mad at Fizz. Ain't gonna blame them for being mad because they didn't do nothing. Raz B dropped out earlier because he was having some mental issues, but Raz B has all sorts of trauma, so I ain't gonna delve into that. But other than that, J Boog has a legit reason to be pissed off at these motherfuckers. This nigga's doing love and hip hop. Everyone that does love and hip hop, I can't say everybody, but like a good percentage of people that do love and hip hop, like if you're one of the the artists have been around for like the past generation, you're a 2000s artist, you're kind of disgruntled doing love and hip hop. You're not doing love and hip hop like, yeah, I'm on, yeah, son, this is what it is, cuz. You're not on it like that. You're kind of like, fuck, nigga, I'm here. This is what my life comes to. I gotta pay my bills, so I'm on love and hip hop. Like for the new artists, of course, it's like if you want to be on love and hip hop, you want to be on reality TV, you want that type of coverage as a new artist, as a new act. But if you're not new, it's like when you're new, you can end up being Cardi B. When you're old, you end up just embarrassing yourself and fucking, you know, disappearing into the background after love and hip hop's done with your ass. So it's like, you don't want that. All right, back to not more pressing, but back to news. Let me report some fucking news before I'm out with this episode. Luke Walton, sexual assault charges dropped. Luke Walton, I think it was back in April. Let me pull the story. Do I have the story? Jesus fucking Christ. Let's see. Yeah, back in April of 2014, while he was an assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors, that's when the alleged she was an ex-Spectrum Sportsnet LA host, whatever. She accused him of this she didn't accuse him in 2014. Why am I fucking up the story so much? I should just read the fucking thing. She accused him in April 2019, but the incident happened in 2014. Later, the charges have been dropped, like a couple days ago. The charges have been dropped, and she dismissed it with prejudice, so she can't re-sue Luke Walton after this case. So I don't know if there was a backstage deal. I don't know if there was a check cut backstage, or I don't want to say backstage, in the background, shit that's not in the media, shit that's not going to be talked about. Maybe there was a check cut, or maybe she just felt like, who knows? Who knows? We're in the era of the false accuser. I don't want to put that on her. I don't know any details to the actual case of what happened and why she felt like she was sexually assaulted, but we're in the era of the false accuser and the clout accuser. She's an ex-host for a sports network, so she lost her job somehow. She could possibly be a disgruntled member of the media that's just lost her job, has nowhere to go. She probably had some sort of former relationship with Luke Walton. Could have been a false accusation. Who knows? I'm not putting that on her. I'm just saying it could have been a false accusation. That's why she rescinded the charges and dismissed it without prejudice. Or something really could have happened. It could have been, minor, or even not even that minor, but they could have settled without the media knowing. And, he could have paid her off, because if she's taking 5 years, because the incident happened in 2014, she takes 5 years to bring this up to the media and try to get charges on him. But it was a criminal charge, I believe. I don't know if it was an actual, a lawsuit. So, I don't know. This is why... Yeah, this is why you sit down with yourself and you look yourself in the mirror and you get the facts in order before you hit the camera, because, you be switching your mind as you're reading the story and trying to pick a side. But really and truly, I don't know. All I know is the charges have been dismissed, and Luke Walton is a free man to coach the bum-ass Kings, who are currently sitting in, 10th in the West. Well, the Kings aren't bums, but really and truly, they're just underperforming. I thought the Kings would be better this year. All right, off Luke Walton, back on to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby recently issued a statement saying that he would rather serve out the rest of his prison time and, than express any type of remorse for the victims to get it reduced or for him to leave early. So he doesn't want to apologize for shit. He's consistent saying that he's not guilty of shit, and that's where he stands. And he's pretty much chilling in jail. I don't know what type of jail they got Bill Cosby in. I don't know what his life was outside of. I don't understand how you can be that rich, be that old, and have a life outside of jail that's great because you have all this money and shit, and you can do what the fuck you want. You can be vacationing every weekend, but you're content in jail, and you would rather not apologize because I don't know. I don't know if he wants to save his legacy. I don't know if he wants time to pass, and then in the future people will look at him like he wasn't that, and he was adamant on his stance of not assaulting any women, and it was just the lifestyle of how it was back in the day. Like, girls were just getting quaaluded up and just doing those activities, and it wasn't really, who knows what his mentality when it comes to that is. But I'm not going to sit here and roast Bill Cosby like a lot of other media members. There's a lot of women that came out. It's a lot of women, but at the end of the day, it's 30 years later. It's a different lifestyle. Memory is one of the most unreliable things. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure he done something wrong, clearly. The sheer volume will tell you that there's something wrong he did. But at the end of the day, do I care enough to go in on him? Nah, he's just going to be in jail for how long? And being in jail is a worse enough fucking fate for him to spend his, last years withering away as an old, wrinkly, prune, just dying in jail. Like, that's rough. But he's still making jokes and shit. He's still coming out doing the hey shit and doing, his little fucking jokes from the past. So he seems pretty content in jail. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, so we're gonna get down to the top 5 players in the NBA from any position. Got a couple of requests to do this, to make a top 5 starting lineup in the NBA. And if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have LeBron at point guard. He plays point guard right now for the Lakers, and it's working seamlessly. Him and Anthony Davis, great chemistry. Him and the rest of the team, great chemistry. He's averaging a league high 10.8 assists. So I'm going to have LeBron James at point guard, pretty much unstoppable at point guard. He can guard all 5 positions, so you can really put him anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. LeBron at point guard. See, if Klay Thompson was healthy, and this was last year, I'd have him at shooting guard over James Harden, just because, I have LeBron at point guard, and if I'm constructing a team. But if we're not constructing a team, and we're just trying to say the best at each position, and we're trying to build the top 5, and it's for this year, it's not a hypothetical. It's literally what we're doing. I'm going to have James Harden at the shooting guard. I'm going to have Kawhi Leonard at small forward. I'm going to have Giannis at power forward. And I'm going to have Anthony Davis at center. And those are really the top 5 players in the league right now. Regardless of me making a lineup, if we're really going to rank the top 5 players in the league, not that order, of course, but top 5, yeah, LeBron, Kawhi, AD, Giannis, James Harden, Luka Doncic. That's really sitting at the top of the league right now. That's top 6. You got KD injured, Kyrie injured. Kyrie was a negative with the Brooklyn Nets when he was playing, so that's not even a good. Like, Kyrie's not even up there. Kyrie's not even a top 10 player, although he can drop 50, 60 on an efficient shooting. I don't know. That 11 for 38 James Harden 50 points was gross. 24 of 24 from the free throw line, though? But really, 11 for 38, nigga? What the fuck? 11 for 38? 11 for 38? You take 38 shots to get 50 points? 24 free throws? Holy shit, that's inefficient. Dude, that's why these niggas lost in that double overtime game. That shit is trash. No more topics. We running out. I'm trying to save this because I have another podcast coming. See, I always say this, we're doubling up, but really and truly, we doubling up. We got T2 Lovely coming on the show shortly, so had to hoard some topics. This is going to be a quick one, episode 55. Let me see if I have anything else I want to discuss before I get the fuck up out of here. See, this is when you need that type of segue music. That you need that Conway Twitty from Family Guy. You know when they put in Family Guy, that Conway Twitty clip? That's just to fill up time because they have nothing to fill the episode when they actually ran the episode. And it's like, oh shit, it's only 18 minutes. We need 2 minutes to fill this shit to make it run for 20 on airtime. They just slap in that Conway Twitty bullshit and they extend that joke for so long. And it's not even funny to the point where it's like a minute and a half in. It's like, fuck Conway Twitty. Shut the fuck up. Why is this shit still going? But, yeah, continue to support the brand. Continue to subscribe to Blunt Talk with LT. We've seen some substantial growth in the past 28 days. Yeah, man. Share the clips that you like. Comment. Let me know what you think about whatever the fuck I'm discussing at that point in time. I'm definitely going to do one of those videos where I respond. Definitely going to do one of those videos where I respond to the comments and, give you guys back a little bit of feedback on your feedback. Let me see what I think about y'all shit. But, yeah, Blunt Talk with LT, episode 55. Make sure y'all subscribe to Stack Gwop YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that Blunt Talk with LT YouTube. We trying to grow. We trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers. We got a bunch of hot shit coming. We got vlogs coming, freestyles on the podcast, interviews, all sorts of shit. Just, keep it locked. Yep.